Well, the Chinese surveillance balloon story is just the gift that keeps on giving. And I'm going to walk you through kind of the grand finale to this story in a second. And you've probably heard about it a little bit already, but let me kind of give you the context before we take a look at that. So U.S. intelligence spotted what was suspected to be, and seems to be confirmed, a Chinese surveillance balloon. And the right wing started saying the reason why this balloon has not been shot down, and it was suspected to be trying to get information on certain sensitive sites that the United States has at the time in Montana. And so the right wing said the reason why it's not being shot down is because Biden is weak. Okay. Well, then it got shot down, and they said, well, any president would have shot it down. Why did he wait so long? And then the finale, as I said, to all this, how it ended, is so beautiful. So it was shot down. They still criticized him, and then got so embarrassed at the very end. But let me hold that and first walk you through what types of criticisms we were seeing, okay? So here from Ted Cruz. Once it was shot down, he said, good, absolutely the right thing to do, but Biden should have done it before the Chinese spy balloon went across the entire country. And Xi knows damn well that Biden wouldn't have had the guts to shoot down the CCP balloon if people in Montana hadn't taken pictures of it. So they said, why isn't Biden shooting it down? He did, and it's still very aggravating to them in some way or another. And then you have Marjorie Greene saying on Twitter, I just spoke with our great American first President Trump. He would have never allowed China to fly a spy balloon over our country and our military bases and assets. President Trump would have shot it down before it entered the U.S., and so would I. Okay, so Trump would have shot it down before it came to the United States. Biden waited until after it was already over the United States. And then getting to some of what we saw on Fox News. Take a look at this.
That Pete asked, why would we take that long? Is it possible that our president was getting permission from the Chinese to take it down? I mean, let's just all be honest. He is potentially compromised by many of the business deals that his family has made with the Chinese Communist government.
So he's compromised. Maybe he had to get permission first, and that's why it took so long. And then you have Mike Pompeo saying, listen, we, meaning when he was Secretary of State under Trump, we would have never allowed it to go as far as it did.
Well, Sean, thanks for having me on. I can nearly guarantee you that balloon would still not be flying if we were still there.
So that was back whenever it was still in the air. And then just to continue, because the more you see of this, the more sweet the ending is. Here's another example on Newsmax.
Opposite of this consensus with the Chinese is America First policy, where we put forward policies that make our people stronger, that make our people better, and then we diplomatically deal with the fallout and try to find common ground after that. President Trump put forward a very aggressive America First policy, and that's why China wouldn't fly balloons over America or wouldn't embarrass us by coming to Alaska as they did and lecturing us on our human rights record under the Trump administration. They've done all those things during the Biden administration.
Okay, so Trump wouldn't have even had to make the decision about shooting it down because China wouldn't have dared to do it under Trump. And if you've heard this already, you know where it's going. And then here's Steve Bannon.
Think about it for a second. They impeached Trump over some phone call with the poison dwarf Zelensky. They impeached him over that. This is an absolute. This is a high crime and a misdemeanor, and we must find out. Like, who knew what on Saturday the 28th, and was that the first time? Because I happen to believe it was earlier than that.
Fascinating stuff. Throwing in a jab about Zelensky there as well. And then the final thing, I promise, here's more from Fox News.
We appear to be more worried about offending the Chinese, more afraid of protesters storming our capital, than protecting our own homeland against a communist aggressor.
Hunter gets to know all about the balloons, but you don't.
But they didn't do that. Why didn't they do that?
Trump wanted to nuke a hurricane. You guys won't even throw a dart at a balloon?
Okay, so save Tucker's voice in your mind for a second here. Why didn't we do that? Why didn't we shoot it down? Why didn't we do that? Well, here's the news that broke. You couldn't come up with this. Trump denies Chinese balloons flew over U.S. during his administration. And this comes from the fact that Pentagon press secretary, Brigadier General Pat Ryder, said in a statement Thursday that the balloon did not present a military physical threat to people on the ground, and that similar kinds of balloon activity had been observed previously over the past several years. A senior defense official said at a press briefing Saturday that Chinese government surveillance balloons transited the continental United States briefly at least 3 times during the prior administration, and once that we know of at the beginning of this administration, but never for this duration of time. So then the news breaks that a balloon had flown over the United States. Sorry for the glitching there, guys. Over Trump's presidency, during Trump's presidency. And it just could not make all that commentary more silly, because of course they're not going to say, oh, Trump's terrible for that, as we said about Biden. No, he probably had a good reason. Balloons flew over and he didn't shoot them down. So Biden not shooting them down quick enough was the worst thing ever. Trump not shooting them down at all, perfectly fine. Of course, Trump is denying this here on Truth Social. The Chinese balloon situation is a disgrace, just like the Afghanistan horror show and everything else surrounding the grossly incompetent Biden administration. They are only good at cheating in elections and disinformation. And now they are putting out that a balloon was put up by China during the Trump administration in order to take the heat off the slow-moving Biden fools. China had too much respect for Trump for this to have happened, and it never did. Just fake disinformation. And one of the things that has been noted about this is there's a chance he genuinely doesn't remember that this happened, because he was not known for paying attention during his briefings on this type of information, and there were times where he just wasn't able to be read in because he wasn't able to pay attention to important classified information like this. So maybe he just forgot, or maybe they tried to bring it up to him, but he was too busy tweeting on the toilet. Who knows? But a truly embarrassing story there for the right. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.